We are watching the fifth match of the day. This is Denmark versus Germany. And we want to introduce the German team, starting with the captain, 22, Jorgen Giel, grade Stefan Rutzel, 61, Kan Zizek, 38, Nassim Lafaker, 10, Timur Khalidi, 1, Jessica Kronberg, 18, David Gruber, 6, Stefan Nielsen, 28, Anna Schulze, 94, David Auer. This is Germany. Next to the college of the German team, Marco Konitzer, assistant coach Andrea Vogt, and the team manager Julian Wendel. This is for Germany. I would welcome the referees of this match. First referee from Slovenia, Davor Matrajevic, and the second referee is from Belgium, Matthias Anhoff. Second match of the day for Denmark, we introduce with the captain number 4, Christopher Hansen, 10, Vidar Hidetsen, 28, Alexander Petersen, 23, Rasmus Nilsson, 32, Dani Mogensen, 9, Alexander Nilsson, 31, Anders Behrendt, 21, Jakob Dahl, 22, Mats Larsen, 92, Simon Christensen. That's the Danish team. Other coach, Berg Bommel and Marcel van den Riesel, and the team manager, Aina Budde. This is the Denmark. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we are ready to listen to the team's national anthem. Thank you.
And so the Danish and the German national anthem is out of the way. We can get ready to play this game 6 of the World Championships of Powerchair Hockey 2018 edition, live from Lignano Sabbiadoro in the northern part of Italy. After sitting through a couple of tough games, the uh, Canada game and the Australia game, where there was a clear winner and it was clear very early on who would win the game, we, I think, deserve a more tightly contested game. And I think a game between Denmark and Germany might be able to deliver on that. Um, Germany ranked third um on the world rankings, and Denmark fifth. So maybe the Germans are slight favorites. I don't know. I like this Danish team, um, and there are some reasons which we will get into that. Maybe that Danish rating of fifth is slightly soft. Quickly, the starting lineup for Denmark. It's the same lineup that jumped out to a quick lead against Belgium. So if it ain't broken, don't fix it, I guess is the motto of the Danish coaching staff. It's Christoffer Hansen doing the coin toss. It is Anders Behrendt, number 31. It is Jakob Dahl, number 21. It is Danny Mogensen, 32. And in the goal, Rasmus Nielsen, 23. Captain doing the coin toss for Germany is Jörg Diel, T-stick player Jörg Diel. He lines up alongside Nassim Afra with number 38. David Bauer, 94. Khan Sisik, where is he? Khan Sisik, 61. And in the goal, Jessica Trommer, number 1. Due to Anders Behrendt being yesterday being reclassified from, I guess it was 2 days ago, being reclassified from a 4-point player to a 3-point player. Actually, Denmark is playing with only 10 points on the court. With only 10 points on the court. But this lineup, which used to be 11 points, is the go-to lineup, the standard starting lineup for Denmark. I think at some point we will see Danny Mogensen removed and incoming another 3-point player. At some point we would see that lineup, especially if things doesn't go as planned for the Danish. The Germans, on the other hand, is in the sort of a classic 4-3-2 lineup. Nassim Afra, the 4-point player, David Bauer, the 2-point player, and Khan Sisik, the 3-point player. Anders Behrendt, the primary build-up player, he loses the ball. He sort of plays it underneath his own man in Danny Mogensen. Silly mistake. You can't get away with that in at this level. Nassim Afra may have been a little too rough with Hansen there. Oh, the ball was actually flattened. So we'll get a new one. And the Danish will retain possession. Oh, the shot from very deep on the spin is redirected, I think, by, was that Khan Sisek maybe who got the last stick on that, or was it David Bauer? Didn't catch that maybe.
Restart for Denmark. 1-0.
It's a pretty fortunate bounce for the Danes there. Not much of a chance really that was, but the deflection from one of the German players made it completely unstoppable for Jessica Drummer in the German goal. So Denmark very quickly out to a lead, just like we saw earlier today when they beat Belgium. Quick lead. It's always nice to settle down the nerves. Denmark, by virtue of having beaten Belgium earlier on, they can punch their semifinal ticket by with a win here against Germany. Of course, the fourth team of this group is Australia, and Australia put up a nice fight, I think, against the Belgians earlier, but ultimately lost pretty clearly 12-3, and that figures to be a pattern we will see for the Australian games throughout this tournament. So I think we can assume that both Germany and Denmark will beat Australia once they get to that point. Danny Mogensen getting some rough treatment from David Bauer, and he's barking at the refs. Similar playing styles, these two teams. One sort of dominant ball handler who builds up the offense, and the other guys are milling around trying to set some picks, maybe get open for a pass, try to sort of. And just like we have seen Denmark do all tournament, once the ball handler gets into trouble, he whacks the ball back on his own end, and his teammates there are ready to pick it up. Khan Sisek gets a turn at initiating the offense. Both teams seems pretty patient and content with deflecting the opposing punches. Oof. Very close. Nice pass from Afra. And Sisek has to sort of just deflect it in. He can't really get a shot off. He tries to deflect it in, and it goes just wide. Great shot by a great chance for Germany. Mogensen, can he get it out here? He does. And Behrend can take over. Oh, he needs to deal with Afra, though. Afra wins it. But he is called for a slashing on this Behrend. That's an unfortunate call for Afra, who was all the way in that duel there. He goes on, does play on, says the referee. Behrend now just one goal shy of tying for a second on the all-time goal-scoring list. Ooh, Sisek again redirects this shot, and it's almost turned in once again. That was very similar to earlier. It was a nice chance. Anders and Mogensen Behrend and Mogensen were 2-on-1 there. Something is up with the Mogensen stick, and he needs to either get a new one or substitution. I think maybe someone ran over his stick, and it's all crooked now, and don't think he'll be able to do much damage with that. So he will turn himself into a T-stick player and try to set some picks. So we might get that substitution I talked about earlier, getting a 3-point player in instead of Mogensen, who's only a 2-point player. Anders breaks, though. Shot from very deep. I think it will take more to beat out Nistromer in the German goal. Afra probing. Oof. He tries the bank shot on Nielsen, but Rasmus Nielsen cleverly covers up the corner of the goal. And Afra scores on the back post. We have seen that goal. Yes. We've seen that goal quite a few times this tournament. The very quick loop around the goal and then just mashing it into the short corner. I think actually Danny might be allowed a 1 minute technical timeout here to fix his shtick or whatever. He has a substitute. No, instead I think the Danish team calls a timeout. I think instead Denmark calls a timeout. To get Danny fitted for a new stick. It's and Coach Barry Hummel is arguing a little bit with the refs, arguing for maybe this technical timeout, which would be quote unquote free. Danny seems ready to go. He uses a specially fitted stick with the top of the stick is essentially the top of a crutch that he sort of heated up and sort of melted onto his arm. His stick is very, very heavy. I can barely lift it. So it's a very special concoction he's using. So might not be easy to just fix it like any other stick or get a new one easily. Now he needs these special sticks. Anyway, on with the game. Anders doing build up. When the goal happened, you could hear the Danish defenders screaming, "Helt over," which basically means all the way over. They wanted to stop Afra right as he curls around the net, and Anders wasn't able to get there, and so he could fit it in to the net. Some contact there, but the German wins the ball, so the referees will let play continue. It is easy to see Rasmus Nielsen is very frustrated in the Danish goal, constantly talking to himself. You hate to let in a goal like that. So this is a face-off, the Americans would call it. I kind of like the Danish team better when they are pressuring high, when they are really bringing the heat on the opponent. But maybe the Germans here they are too good to gamble against. That may be the theory anyway from the Dutch coaches for the Danish team. Afra getting a lot of time on the ball. The Danes are barely pressuring him. Only when he reaches this area, basically the penalty area, he is guarded actively. Almost loses it, but sends it back to Zizek the minute he feels uncomfortable. And the Germans retain possession. Basically, this offense is a carbon copy of what the Danish do when they face defensive opponent. Constant communication from the Danish players. Okay. So a small blocking foul was called, and the Danish seemed like they were going to win that ball anyway. So not much of a consequence of that call. So Beyond back at it, trying to build up, trying to find Jakob Dahl for a pass. Maybe Danny Mogensen can get open, set a pick, anything to get the ball moving towards the net. Very sideways so far. The Germans, on the other hand, are a little more aggressive in their defensive style, trying to keep the Danes away from the goal completely. So far, succeeding. I mean, the only really, yeah. Oh wow, the call goes against the Germans. So Bent will pick it up. Well, if that was the case, if this was really a German foul, then why didn't they not let the advantage? Why didn't they not give a bit of the advantage to continuation? Okay. Sometimes the referee can feel like that's having your cake and eating it too. So they would rather just blow it dead and say, calm down, folks. Jakob is there, but Cizek read that all the way. The referee somehow saw a foul on the Germans. Look, the Germans, they got to be a little frustrated with these refs. Every call has gone against them so far. Maybe justly so, but when you feel like 3 or 4 or 5 calls in a row goes against you, no matter how obvious they were, you feel a little persecuted. Captain Hansen constantly barking orders to his teammates. It really is a stark difference when you see the Danish team play. They are screaming at each other all game long, communicating constantly. Another foul against Germany when they were just about to gain possession. Oh, Jacob was open for the pass, but Beren completely whiffed and barely made contact with the ball, and he's talking to himself now. A little frustrating for the Danish team. They're frustrated. They are not barely making it over midfield, and then on defense having to sit back in this conservative shape here. Afra intercepted by Dahl. He breaks away. Shot saved by Thoma. And Anders can't corral the rebound. Oh, another call going against Germany here. I gotta admit, I didn't quite catch that. I was staring at the ball. Oof. That's tough. Just as Nassim Afra was about to break away for a yeah. And so who leaves the court here? Well, Alexander Ibsen and Simon Christensen are about to enter the game, and looks like Jacob Dahl and Christopher Hansen leaves the court. This little this substitution means Rasmus Nielsen once again takes over the captain's armband from Chris Hansen. Shot from Anders, but Thomas is very calm in the German goal. This has been the pattern all game. Germany in control. They are being allowed all this time on the ball. That was pretty close for Cizek. He was about to find Afra wide open. With a wide open goal, I meant to say. Now Denmark takes over. The new guy, Pedersen. I may have called him Alexander Ibsen earlier. He's Alexander Pedersen. Anders Behrens trying to find the pass, I think, for Alexander. What's happened here? And a call goes against Denmark, and that decision by the referees gets sarcastic applause from the German bench. And we get a substitution. Once again, a little odd to make a substitution that quickly again. Denmark for, Jakob Dahl for Danny Mogensen. Danny Mogensen. And now they are back at that. Now they are in that lineup I suggested earlier of the all 3-point player lineup, which would have been illegal a couple of days ago before Anders got reclassified. Oh, no call. Maybe they saw that as a charge on Afra and didn't want to blow the play dead unnecessarily. Dahl now building up. Maybe he can find a crease in this high German line. They are really playing excellent, I have to say. Some of the Danish guys need to set a good pick on one of them and to sort of to knock them out of balance. Instead, Anders tries a shot, high ball. Denmark will retain position. And we get a timeout. Denmark. Huh. Maybe they didn't end up using that timeout earlier on in the half. This is the second timeout, I think, of the half for Denmark, which is not allowed. So maybe the first one to fix Mogensen's stick was, in fact, this technical timeout, which is awarded by the referees, and thus free of charge for the team. Barry Hummel, Dutch legend, number 2 on the all-time goal-scoring list. The Danish coach maybe has an idea for how to break down this German defense. Barry Hummel and his assistant Marcel von Meusenberg. This game, as opposed to basically every other game of this tournament, is pretty low score and also low tempo. It's about each team trying to break down the other team's favorite defensive set. Denmark can't get past the high German line, and Germany can't break open the Danish sort of block defense down around the goal area, the penalty area. Anders try a dicey pass, trying to find Jakob Dahl, and Nasima flies all over it. I think you'd have to say Germany have been the better team so far in the first half. The Danes have not been able to get much of anything going. Another blocking foul call here on, I think this was Kahn Sisek this time. The German seems to have a favorite lineup, and they are sticking to it. The Danes are working with many more substitutions, although the Danish team is very flexible in terms of lineups. They have a lot of players who are just about equally good, but valued at different classes. So that gives you a lot of lineup flexibility. Again, a weird sort of bank shot pass that is intercepted, read and intercepted by Kahn Sisek. Sisek has been playing well. He has anticipated a couple of Danish passes and intercepted them. Jakob will keep Afra away from wrapping around the goal there. That's what should have happened last time. A lot of contact. Goes against Sisek again. Oh, and his stick breaks. Well, he broke his stick. That's not going to work. He'll head to the bench, get a new one. No one on the bench seems to have figured out that was what was happening. Finally get an assistant to run out into the locker room to get a new one. Not every day you see a broken stick. Normally, these guys don't have the finger strength to actually keep a handle on the stick when it gets wedged in between another chair. It would just fall to the ground. Maybe though. Oh, I see. Sisek seems to have some sort of tape or something like that around his hand in order to hold the stick. So I guess it couldn't go anywhere. Yeah, you see on his right hand, his hand is taped to the stick. Jakob Dahl has taken a deep position against the Germans here. Maybe a quick pass down to him. Nope. It's the same grinding, searching, probing offensive pattern we have seen from the Danes. There's the pass and a shot from Dahl. Not a bad shot. Again, rebound shot. Can he pick it up again? Anders picks it up. That was a great offensive set from the Danes. Jakob got a nice shot off. Jessica Trommer, though, you need more to get it by her. Oh, Anders needs to be patient. Can't try those silly passes into traffic. And now a penalty against, sort of a foul against Denmark, down at the edge of their own area. Bayern making a silly pass attempt up top and then getting painted in. Oh, that is a nice goal from Afra. That is a nice goal from Afra.